All right, hi guys, this is Miss Brittany again. Um, this is a quick note um, about taking a leading role. There's a lot going on. The energy is really hectic for a lot of us, but you have to continue at all times to take a leading role. Um, for starters, before we talk about a leading role, you might be aware of various actions you need to take to heal yourself as you near a very pivotal point in your journey. Some of those actions might include um, maybe enrolling yourself in school, switching careers, cutting people out of your life, um, or adding people to your life. Whatever the case may be, as was discussed in videos past, of actions that you need to take. The risks that you observe for some actions might seem either, I don't want to say greater than the reward, but the risks might seem really huge. Maybe you might risk rejection. Maybe you might risk failure. Maybe you might risk humiliation. Whatever you have is the perceived risk. If you know that it's an action that you need to take that will aid in your healing and help your growth, you have to take the action despite the risk. You have to recognize that sometimes simply by failing, um, while failure isn't the preferred option, sometimes failing provides you with a lesson or benefit that you would not otherwise receive had you not failed. And it's important to note this because we all want to avoid failure. We all want to avoid humiliation. We all want to avoid rejection. But I'm going to kind of pivot here before I continue this point. The purpose of my channel is to talk about our connection with our friends. However, when I post videos like this that have to do with matters pertaining to us as people, it's because it's important. Um, we are on a path, and on this path, as we progress, we have to heal. If we do not heal, we either will delay reaching our destination, delay healing, um, or we also might just downright lose the opportunity for it to happen. And I would be disingenuous, I would be unhelpful if I only gave you one aspect of what was necessary, which was the foresight, but I didn't equip you with the tools needed in order to help you manifest um, what is what lies ahead. Hopefully that makes sense. But going back to the point, um, this point of taking risks, you have to take risks. Um, you might be someone who um, is very sheltered, and because of being sheltered, you just flat out don't want to take any risks. You might be someone who has no problem taking risks, but you don't calculate the risks. You have to approach the risks in a sense that you do it in a healthy manner. Um, Failure to do this, again, will result in more harm than not. Either way, part of taking the risks has to do with you taking a leading role. Many of you are in a point where, or at a point rather, where connection has either been established or reestablished, and that could be 3D, 5D, known, unknown, whatever the case, connection has been reestablished. And it's easy to sit and look at the situation and say, okay, I know that connection has been reestablished, or I'm not quite sure, but I think this unknown person might be, the twin, and connection is reestablished, and that must mean I have no personal work to do. At this point, if you fail to do the personal work, despite the fact that connection has already either resumed or initiated, most likely this is for people who it's resumed. If connection on your end is if this is some sort of initial connection for you, this won't resonate with you. But if connection has resumed and you fail to take the leading role in healing yourself, or if you are operating under the assumption that I've connected, so that means I have no work to do, or I'm completely healed, I'm this perfect being, mark my words, don't be surprised when there's another disconnection. Don't be surprised if your mirror, and we all know who the mirror is, don't be surprised if your mirror starts to show you the problems that you internally are refusing to work on. Okay? So focus on yourself, take the leading role. When the lessons come up, learn them, because if you don't, as I've often repeated, when you don't learn lessons, they will come up again, and they will either come up exactly as they were before, or they will come up in a manner different but similar. But guarantee at another time, you will realize the lesson that you were supposed to learn that you originally just decided not to learn. Okay? And the same effort that you're putting into people, some of you, myself included, have no problem helping other people, you have no problem healing other people, but for some doggone reason, you refuse to help and heal yourself. Or you know you need to do it, and it's not a refusal, but you just don't know how to do it. We live in the age of information, okay? I personally am dealing with something that I know I need to deal with, and I've known about it for some time. I just didn't really know how to heal the situation. We live in the age of information, guys. You have Google, you have YouTube. There is always information out there for you to help you deal with the issues. Maybe you're a codependent person. Maybe you deal with or are a narcissist. Most likely you're not a narcissist, you're dealing with narcissists. Maybe you have an addiction, be it to food, to people. Maybe your addiction is to sex. Maybe your addiction is to porn. Whatever it is, don't feel ashamed for the issue, but you need to address the issue. You should feel ashamed if you're not addressing the issue. But all of this, while it seems like I'm talking about you, it goes back to your connection. Most of you are in a state of connection. If you do not, hear my words, mark my words, if you do not work on the issues that are being presented to you and that have been presented to you fairly recently, this state of connection that has landed upon you will dissipate into disconnection. Then you will find yourself a month from now, a week from now, a year from now, wondering why you got so close and now you're back at square one. You got a connection, now you're disconnected and there's no contact. Um, the karmic was gone, now there's another karmic. Uh, you don't want to find yourself in that situation. And the easiest solution might appear to be to focus on your counterpart. Oh, they've healed, they've done well, you know. Yes, they're your mirror, okay? And as your mirror, you've done healing and so have they. But the second you stop healing, they will as well. And that's where you'll end up with the push-pull, runner-chaser dynamic that most have endured for weeks, months, in some cases years. And you can't do anything on their end to ensure that the connection remains stable. All you can do is work on yourself and take a leading role in your healing and in your growth. If you look at my last few videos, what have they all been about? Connection, focus, growth, healing. That's not by coincidence. It's not by coincidence that the dream that I had last night for the collective, it's no chance that it was about healing yourself. It's no chance at all. And it's because that's something that we all have to work through and we all have to face. Okay? So if this doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. As I've talked about before, there are various waves. You may not be in the relevant wave that I'm discussing. Even if you are within that wave, different things happen for different people at different times, okay? So what I would encourage you to do is take a look at a few of my videos. If you find that one or two don't resonate, hey, that's okay. That happens occasionally. You're human, I'm human. But if you're finding that multiple, 3, 4, 5 back to back just aren't resonating, that's indicative not of an invalidation of your experience or what I have to offer the collective, but it's just indicative that I'm not the teacher for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to continue to embark on the journey of finding the person who resonates with you and your experience and your connection. Okay. I feel led in this moment to also say that no one can validate the connection for you. Um, so if you are questioning, is this yours? Is this person for? No one can validate that. It's something that happens internally, and there are several ways in which you can validate it. Um, but even still, nothing is set in stone. I might cover that at another time, but I won't delve into that in this moment. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I don't have a regular schedule as to when I upload. I just do it when I'm free, and as well as when I'm led to do so. I also, in the description box below, if you look, there is the opportunity to email me, and actually there's a link, and you can connect with me in that way. That said, I will most likely be streaming again later today. I hope this was informational. I hope that you look within and you are aware of ways in which you can take a leading role, because it's definitely required of you. Okay?